Sometimes the biggest changes in life come unexpected. A drawer full of gear. Wow, how great, you ask. You're so lucky and fortunate, but look inside. It has no structure and all my things are all over the place, so that I never find them. One thing leads to another. I buy cheap gear impulsively and my drawer is full. I never picked up my camera and things needed to change. But sometimes the biggest changes come from something completely unexpected. I scattered around online sometimes and found a 3D printer for under $100. It was so cheap that I had to buy it directly, and I didn't expect at the time what kind of world would open up for me. I always wanted one to help me build stuff, but I underestimated the progress these things had over the last few years. And no, this is not sponsored. This is just something that generally made my life easier. So okay, I got a new 3D printer and my life magically changed, but not so fast. Before the printer, my photography drawer was pure chaos. The batteries were mixed with the SD cards, the lens caps were disappearing everywhere, the filters were stacked randomly, and the adapters were somewhere in between. Every time I needed something, I had to dig. And digging kills momentum. When you want to create, you don't want friction. You don't want to search for that one ND filter while the light outside is fading. It may sound very small, but all these small things add up. And when I got the A1 Mini, I didn't even buy it for photography. I wanted to experiment with it. But then I discovered Gridfinity, a modular organization system designed for drawers and workspaces, and suddenly everything clicked and changed. I started printing small bins, custom-sized compartments, battery holders, SD card trays, and filter organizers. Every single item had its place, and for the first time in years, I opened my photography drawer, and it was calm. It was totally structured and intentional for the ways I needed it. It may sound dramatic to say a 3D printer elevated my photography, but it did. Because creativity thrives in clarity. When everything has its place, you surely move faster and you think clearer without clutter, you experiment more and you don't lose time while searching for something. I can now prepare a shoot in minutes, grab the batteries, the cards, the filters, and done. No stress and no mess. But this didn't stop at photography. That's when I realized a 3D printer wasn't just a printer to help occasionally. It is much more a tool for independence. While I still am in love with detailed and very well handcrafted woodwork, it is often very expensive and not an option. But I also don't want a cheap compartment one size fits all for my everyday needs. I hate the standard sizes, for example in my kitchen drawer. Cable holders, desk organizers, custom mounts, small tools, hooks and adapters, things I would normally buy, I now just print. This gives you a huge power in your hands, and yes, you save money over time. But what I value the most is saving energy. I don't have to search endlessly for the perfect organizer, or waiting for a delivery, or compromising with something that almost works. If I need something, I just press print. And within hours the problem is solved. And this is the mindset change that made a huge difference in my last few months. The reason this worked so well for me is because the A1 Mini is quite simple. I'm quite tech savvy, but the thing that helped me away from a 3D printer all those years is the endless calibration part of it. But with my Bambu A1 Mini, this is mostly non-existent. For my needs, this is the perfect printer and I never need a bigger one, but I'm aware on the problematic privacy policy of Bambu, and I think the always on mode is also not so great. But I can focus on designing solutions instead of fixing the machine. And because it's compact, it fits easily into my workspace without taking over the room. The printer slowly started affecting other areas of my life. Kitchen organizers, bathroom storage, camera rig accessories, travel gear modifications, custom mounts for lights, even small creative art projects. It made me more solution oriented. Instead of thinking, I wish I had something for this, I now think I just print it. That mindset changes how you approach problems, but I also learned that it is beneficial for the cheap and replaceable things in life, but not as a fix everything tool. As creators, we always talk about the newest lenses, the newest cameras or better lighting, but we rarely talk about systems. And systems make everything smoother. The cleaner your space is, or the faster your workflow, the less friction you have and the more creative you are. For me, the combination of the Bambu A1 Mini and the Gridfinity turned chaos into structure, and structure gave me freedom. Again, this isn't sponsored. I bought it myself, and I genuinely didn't expect it to influence my photography this much. But sometimes the tools that elevate your creativity aren't the obvious ones. Sometimes it's the tool that removes the small daily frustrations. If your workspace feels chaotic, if your drawers are a mess, if small inefficiencies are slowing you down, maybe the solution isn't another camera. Maybe it's organization. For me, a small 3D printer did more than I expected, and that made space for better creativity.